Okay, I think we're live. Do tell me in the comments if you can actually hear me. That would be a good thing. See if you can see my hand first of all. I think as always with these I'm lagging. But if you are able to see what's happening here, I can see something happening. I think I can see me moving about. So let me know in the comments if you're. There we go. There's my thumb. So it looks like I'm live. I'm sorry. It's just because the software I'm using is always a bit sound and picture working. Excellent. Thank you very much, Bjorn. And hi, Steve. And Niet Molov. Good to see you all. Loud and clear. Fantastic. Excellent. That's exactly what we want. So we're back again. 18th of June. I should have really started this one at 18:15, shouldn't I? 6:15, but I missed the chance, and I was watching Netflix. Anyway, tonight we are playing Commands and Colours again. So this is Waterloo from the scenario book. This is the last scenario in the original set. Anyway, so it's the final one. So it is Waterloo 11 AM to 3 PM. Unfortunately, I don't have the Prussians expansion, so there'll be no Prussians appearing in this particular game. But there is still a chance that the French may win. So we'll have to see, won't we? So let's just have a quick look at the old board itself. So obviously this is the Anglo-Allied line on this side. Over on here we've got the French attack. We have Durlon here with his units. We've got Ney over here. We've also got Riel over here. This is Papillotte. We have La Haye Sainte in the centre, and then also obviously Hougoumont over on the left there, French left. We've also got Hill over here on the Allied side. Perponcher over here, who was in the last battle, and also we've got Picton as well, who, if I remember correctly, was in the last battle. So we've got a few other personalities. The brown troops here, normally in the Commands and Colours in this particular base set, these are Portuguese, but in this particular scenario they're standing in for the Dutch and the German troops. So there's a few of those scattered across. We've got the 95th Rifles in the sandpit by the side of La Haye Sainte. Obviously we've got the King's German Legion here in La Haye Sainte itself. We've also got some of the some light infantry over here. So these are I don't know if these are supposed to be the Coldstream Guards, but we've also got the Dutch quite close to them as well. So quite a spread really across this one. As I say, unfortunately I don't have any Prussians, so this is going to end about 3 o'clock on the game itself. We both start with 6 cards. The French start, so the French have got their 6 cards there. We've also got the British 6 cards over here as well, probably just outside the line of sight of the camera. Bjorn had mentioned the solo version by Stuka Joe of the cards, and I went looking for it and I found it, and it looks really good actually. I printed out everything for it, but I'm not going to use it tonight because I only read it literally just the other day, I think yesterday or so. So I'm not 100% sure how it works, but I'm going to try it out at some point in the future for Command and Colours. It's quite a nice system that you have for dice roll to decide which cards you can use, so you still have a bit of a choice, but you also don't know how many of the cards you actually got as well. So it's quite nice for that. A little bit of fog of war really, and not allowing you to do everything that you want to do in a turn. But anyway, the French are starting today. It's the first one to 8 victory flags, and if you were watching the other day, or if you played Commands and Colours Napoleonics, you'll know that every unit of the enemy that you destroy gives you a victory flag. The French also will get victory flags for every one of the buildings that they capture. So Hougoumont La Haye Saint and Papelotte as well. So we're they'll be thrusting towards those, I would say. That's the idea at least. So let's take a quick drink, and then we're up with the French to start. So I haven't looked at their cards yet. I just dealt them out earlier on when I set up. So we'll just have a look at them together. So we've got Assault the Centre, which is order a number of units or leaders in the centre equal to the command, so the number of cards, so that would be 6. Reconning Force, which is 1 unit or leader in each section. Probe Centre, so that's 2 in the centre. Then we've got Coordinated Advance, which is 2 in the centre and 1 on either flank. Give them Cold Steel, which is issue an order to all units adjacent to the enemy. Order the units made melee with an additional dice. So basically that means if I can get everybody up close, then they can start attacking. So that one's going to be one to hold on to. And then we've got Elan, which is we roll dice equal to the number of command cards, in this case 6. And then for every symbol rolled, one type of that unit is ordered. So that one might, again, if anybody was watching the game the other day, I tried that, and I think they managed to order just some horses or something on that one. So at the moment I'm just looking really a little bit of a possibly an advance, possibly either Reconning Force or the Coordinated Advance. And I think to start off I'm going to go with the Reconning Force. I think that's the just to start getting units moving forward, because the French are obviously attacking. They stand still, they're not going to get anything done, are they? So 1 unit in each of these, and we want to get these farmhouses cleared out as quickly as possible. So that's going to be our main task. So what I'm going to do actually is I'm going to bring the horse artillery round the side here, so at least they can fire at them. I'm not sure if the horse artillery can move and fire. Let me just have a look. No, it can move and fire. But it can't fire at a range that's 4 hexes away if it moves. So it can move and it can fire, so that's what they're going to do. So that's the first one there. Then we've got the centre line. I think we'll just bring this line forward here up onto the ridge. Start to get them moving forward at some point. You may notice as well, we've also got the Old Guard. I forgot to mention that. We've got the Old Guard here, we've got the Young Guard over here as well, waiting for the Prussians coming in. And then on this side, I'm going to start moving forward the line towards Papelotte as well. So I'm kind of going to try, like I said, the idea is to try to clear out these farmhouses. Evening, Ivan, good to see you. And to cheer for the French. Never, not in this household. So the only firing we've got is from the horse artillery firing into Hougoumont itself. So let's just see what our reduction is anyway. Firing into a town for artillery is a -1, and they are firing at a range of 3, 2, so -1 is just 1 dice. So at least I might be able to cause some damage. A cannon, that's nothing. So the opening barrage has proven ineffective. So the French discard that card, take a new one, and we don't look at that, as you remember, in my solo rules. So back to the Anglo-Allied side, so we'll see what they've got. First one is Short Supply, which is you move an enemy or a friendly unit all the way back to their start line. So that's useful for getting units out of the front line if they are pretty badly smashed up. Ivan says he's painting 1914 Brits this weekend, so I'm going to put you in a better mood. always does. That'll be good to see. We've also got the attack the right flank, so that'll be 3 units on the right flank over there. Assault the centre, so that's similar to the French one. Counterattack, which is the same card as the opponent, which is always useful. Flank attack, which is 2 units on either flank, and then also attack centre as well, which is 3 units in the centre. A bit of a tough one this for the Anglo-Allied, because again they are they're just really wanting to hold their position until the French can come in. There's not much point attacking, but we can do some firing at least. It might be that they do the counter attack. Actually, I think that might be a good one. Just to, yeah, I think we're going to a counter attack. So that's the same as what the French have played, which was recon in force. So that's one unit in every section. Go France from Miles. What is it? Is it France night or something? Okay, good to have you here, Miles, as well. So they've got one in each section. So we're going to get the light infantry in Papillot to fire at the line infantry as they come in. The light infantry here will also be firing at the horse artillery over there. And then we've also got one other thing that we can do in the centre. I think the foot artillery are going to be out of range. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring forward this line infantry here with the commander, because they're in that position, so they can be activated as part of this. So I'm going to try to bring those up just to really support the middle and the Halahe Saints itself, because as I said, the French are going to be going for that. So we've got our line infantry first of all firing out of buildings. They don't get any reduction, but they are British light infantry. They roll an additional dice in ranged combat. They're already rolling 5 because they have 5 men in their units, or 5 blocks, should I say. So we're just looking at First World War aerial combat. Good stuff. I'm sorry, I'm getting distracted by the comments. Right, so we've got the light infantry. They're firing, so they're going to need cannons to hit anything. Nothing else will count. And cannons are usually pretty hard to get. No, that would have been good if they were firing at infantry, because we've got 3 infantry, 2 cavalry, and a flag. The flag means that they have to retreat though, so that forces them back 1 at least. So they are now out of range. So not brilliant, but not too bad either. Then we've got the light infantry of the Dutch over here in Papillot, and they are firing the same. They start with 3, but they get an extra 1 for firing in ranged combat. Now these are firing at infantry, so let's see what we get. So sabres do nothing in firing, horsey does nothing, and a little fella kills one of their infantry. So first casualties to the French. Hooray, I hear you all say. Okay, so take a new card for the Brits. Don't look at that. And back to the French. So we've got give them the cold steel, Elan, coordinated advance, assault the centre, probe the centre, and a new one is probe the centre. They seem to be liking to probe that centre. I'm going to go with a coordinated advance because I want to keep all the pressure on those buildings over there. So that's the plan. So I can move them forward and then potentially get some cold steel into them as well. You're saying boo there, Miles, for the French dying. Well, as I say, up here in British land, it's a bit different. Right, so I'm going to move the line forward, then they're going to attack into the light infantry over there. We've got 2 to choose in the centre. I'm going to come back to those in a second. Now the question is, do I move the horse artillery again and keep firing, or do I start moving infantry in? Let's move infantry in. So let's get these light up. 1. These can move 2 and don't battle, so they'll go into the woods and they'll stop in the woods. They can't battle out of there. So now we've still got the centre line as well now. And again, I think it might be worthwhile just bringing forward some of these units here, really. So we've got line, and line. I'm going to bring these off the ridge down towards La Haye Saint itself, get these up on the ridge. So that's the 2 in the centre. So we've got light infantry, but because they've gone into the woods, they can't fire. They moved to anyway, so they can't fire for that. If it's any consolation, my kid is a confirmed Wellington fan after we read Cornwell's Waterloo book. Good, so he should be. We should all be Wellington fans. But we do have an attack here by the French line infantry into that building. Attacking into a building, unfortunately, it means they have a -2 on their battle dice, but we're starting with 3. Because they're French, they get an extra 1 for melee, but then they get a -2. Steve says, what would you expect from these colonial fellows? Well, that is true. I mean, you know, they were under French rule for long enough. Or British rule. No, that's Canada, isn't it? Anyway, I'm getting confused. So the French are attacking. So they've got 1 sabre and 1 cannon. So that's 1 kill on the light infantry. The Dutch, they get to battle back because they've survived. So they're just rolling 2 dice. And that's a troop and a cavalry. In hand-to-hand combat, the line infantry, I don't think they cause any sabre hits. Oh no, that's only the militia. So they have caused 1 anyway. So 2 French to 1 Dutch so far. Got to back our AWI allies, exactly. That's it. Okay. I can see there's 13 people watching this and I've only got 3 likes. What's that about? Come on, hit that like button. Make me sound like a YouTuber. Okay, so that's the French turnover. Right, back to the British. Or shall we say the Allies. Right, we've got probe left flank. Flank attack. Short supply. Attack the right flank. Assault the centre. And then the next card was attack the centre. So there's a lot here for the centre. We could. I'm going to use probe the left flank actually because I can fire the artillery and also the light infantry as well at the attacking French. So this is what we're doing. We are going to start with the light infantry. No, I'm going to start with the artillery first of all. So they start on a 4, 3, 2 dice, nothing else, no additions or anything. That's 1 infantry and a sabre, so the sabre does nothing in combat, in firing combat. So that's 1 killed. You clicked like on behalf of Marshal Ney. Yes. Well, I've got nothing to say to that. And then we've got the light infantry. They're attacking out of Papelotte itself. So let's just see what they do. That's 2 flags. So that's 2 retreats for the French. So already they're running like the cowards they are. So they've been pushed back. So that's good, isn't it? I'm sure you all like that. My friends across the pond. So that was the Allies' turn. So back to the French. We have probe the centre, give them cold steel, Elan, probe the centre, assault the centre, and attack the centre. So it's all about the centre at the moment, isn't it? And it looks like somebody's going to be charging in. So I'm just going to put these together so it makes it a bit neater than saying the same card over and over again. Right, we have. It's definitely going to be an assault, isn't it? And I'm just thinking I might use the actual assault the centre and get a lot of units across, and then I can follow up with the probing and the attack later on. So using the cards, thinking about it in a few turns ahead. So yeah, if we assault the centre, so that's going to give us 6 units in the centre of the move. So line infantry are going to go into the woods. No, they're not. They're going to go here and then they're going to assault. Because if they go into the woods, they have to stop and they can't assault. Can't fire out this turn. So they're going to do that, line up for that. So where we are here, boo again, is it? Oh no. Yeah, it's Steve. Hooray, indeed. Also, I've been meaning to get on this table again. Your videos 100% make you want to. Yeah, it's a great game. It really is. It's definitely a good, fun game. And I said in the last video that this is going to take probably about 40 minutes to an hour. 2 hours later, we were still playing it. But in general, most of the games here take less than an hour. So we've got 6, haven't we? So 1, 2. I'm going to actually move Nay as well, and he can move up to 3. 1, 2, 3. So that's 3 of them now. So Nay has attached himself to that line infantry. 4 here. I'm going to use the foot artillery as well in a second, but I'm also going to move forward this line infantry here. So we've got 2 attacks now. So we've got the attack going into La Haye Saints first of all, and then we've also got the foot artillery over here as well. They're going to be firing at the line infantry at the foot of the hill there. So we'll start with them. So we're starting on 4, 3, 2. So it's just 2 dice. And we have a cannon and a horsey, so that's no hits. But then we've got line infantry going into La Haye Saints. So we start with 4. The French get the addition, the extra addition of 1, because they just do. They're better in fighting, close combat. However, they're attacking into the buildings, so they get -2. So they can only kill a maximum of 3 of the British here, but they might hopefully do a little bit of damage to them. Well, I'm saying that for the French supporters in the audience. So that's 2 hits and a cannon. So that's 2 British line have been killed there, which is terrible. But they get to battle back, and they're just rolling 2 dice. That's all they have. So that's 1 French killed there. So the French have done a little bit better there, but they still haven't captured the building yet. So on it goes. They deserve the extra 1. The French get an extra 1 when they're attacking in melee. The British get an extra 1 when they're firing. So it confirms stereotypes, this game. Okay, we've got our next one is the Anglo-Allied side. Sorry, the cat is just going a bit mad tonight. There must be a full moon or something. She's going crazy. I was trying to stop her jumping on the table. Okay, we've got the Anglo-Allied, so we've got scout the left flank, attack the centre, assault the centre, attack the right flank, short supply, and then a flank attack. That was the one that we picked up there, which is 2 on the flanks. Is it worthwhile assaulting the centre and opening up with some of this artillery in the middle, perhaps, or maybe even attacking the centre? There's an artillery guys there, and we could also bring some more support up for La Haye Saints as well, or even fire down with the rifles and the artillery and smash these French up here. I think that's probably the best thing to do. That seems to be where the fighting is at the moment. So this is what they will do. So we're going to start with the ones that can fire. That I don't want them to retreat, so the rifles can't fire. So I'm going to start with the rifles firing. Now they're in the sandpit, so when they fire out of the sandpit, they get a -1. Obviously, they're not able to stand properly in the sand, but they are rifles, so they get 3 dice. They get that extra 1 because they're firing in long range, or just firing, should I say. They get the extra dice, but then they get a -1 dice for firing out of the sandpit, and they're just firing at the line infantry there. Let's see what we get. So that's 1 casualty and 2 retreats, and the French here are not supported. They're only supported by 1 other unit, so they do have to retreat twice. 1, 2, so that means that the artillery can't fire at them, and the line infantry who were going to fire at them can't fire at them. You're going to get back to writing. Cheers, thank you very much. Blucher is coming, he'll be here at some point. Thanks for popping in, Ivan. Good to have you in the comments for a bit. So we fired with the rifles. I'm going to fire with the line infantry, the French line infantry. They're just rolling 4 dice, and they've also got a leader in there as well, so they may hit him. Ah, yes. So let's see. They retreat 2. Cannon does nothing, but they've got 1 hit. So because they've taken a hit, we've got to roll for the leader. So let's have a look for that. In aimed combat, in ranged combat, it's 2 sabres on 2 dice. One's fallen out, so let's re-roll on here. No, he's not a casualty. They have to retreat 2. However, he can ignore a flag, so they'll forget that. And then they are supported by 2 units, so they can ignore their second flag as well. So they can just take their hit. Miles says charge with the artillery. French will not expect that. Well, that is very true. I don't think it'll go down very well, but I'll keep it in mind for later. You know, when the situation gets desperate. But now we've got the artillery. So 4, 3, 2, firing at the same target this time, and that's a sabre and a cannon. So no hits. So that's the British centre attack. So they get their card. Back to our French. Come on again, I can see there's 11 viewers now. Only 6 likes. Hit those likes, people. So we got attack centre, probe the centre. Probe the centre. Elan, give him the cold steel and the cavalry charge. Well, there's no point using the cavalry charge right now because there's not much damage on the Allied side. I want to be getting the units forward, as we said before, so I can get them to give them the cold steel. So I'm going to use, this time I'm going to use one to probe the centres, for the simple fact that I can follow it up with that and then also with an attack the centre as well. So this is just 2 units in the centre. Let's pile these in because they'll get that extra bonus against the Dutch infantry. And then we'll pile these into La Haye Saints as well. So far we're kind of ignoring Hougoumont. This one's all centering around La Haye Saints at the moment. So we'll start with the line against the Dutch. So it's 4 dice. Looking for infantry hits, so that's just 1 hit. So the Dutch get to battle back, they're just rolling 3 dice. But there is a leader in that French unit. Ooh, they've killed 3. They've wiped them out. Well done, the Dutch. First victory banner goes to the British. And we've also got to check to see if the leader is killed. We just roll 1 dice now because it's melee. And he has been killed, so that's 2 dice. Fantastic. Check that out. Durland's been killed early on in the battle, so 2 flags straight to the British. This could be a quick game, and it'll probably upset half the audience as well, won't it? Right, we've got the French attack into La Haye Saints. So this starts with 5 dice. Attacking into the buildings is -2, so down to 3 dice. But they only need to hit 2 to destroy that unit and maybe capture the building. They've killed 1. So the British are still holding it at least. So they get to fight back. So we'll roll just 1 dice. That is a kill. So let's see if that's a kill on the French leader. No, it's not. So he survives, so that's okay for him. He's doing alright so far. This French attack is not really coming so much, is it? And they take their card. And we're back to the Brits. Right, we've got scout the left flank, short supply, flank attack the right flank, assault the centre, and attack the centre. Well, everything seems to be happening in the centre, doesn't it? But now, because the French have run away or been destroyed, there's not a great deal they can hit if they do use that. So It might be better to do something like scout the left flank, or even use short supply and send one of these French units back. I think that's what they're going to do, you know. They're going to short supply a French unit. So we remove it from the hex it occupies and place it on the baseline hex that can be entered in the same section. So they're just going to send them straight back to here. So all that ground they'd covered, they've now been pushed back, but that's all the British are doing. At least it's alleviated the pressure on La Haye Sainte. And French attack the centre, probe the centre, Elan, give them cold steel, cavalry charge, and attack right flank. Well, that centre has been a bit of a washout, hasn't it? So I'm going to hold on to those for now, and I'm going to attack the right flank instead. And that's probably one of the best things to do at this point. So we've got 3 units on the right flank. Let's bring forward these line. Let's bring forward the light cavalry. 1, 2, 3. They can then also attack into Papelotte, and then we'll bring forward the young guard as well. Get them shifted up. But there's no firing, it's just the attack by the cavalry. Attacking into town, unfortunately for them, is a -3 on their dice. So they would only roll 1 attack dice. So I think, should we bother? I don't know, it might be worthwhile just going past them actually and going for the guns. I think because if they don't end up killing the Dutch, then they will attack back, you see. But when they might kill one of them, come on, let's do it. No guts, no glory. Cavalry, so that's nothing. So the Dutch do get to fight back. See what they get. A cannon, nothing back. So they were right to take the risk. I think they're a bit risky, but who knows? The roll of the dice and all that. Okay, we're back to our. That was the French. Sorry, I just gave that card to the wrong pile. So we're back to the Allies. Assault centre, attack right flank, flank attack, scout the left flank, and then leadership, which is issuing an order to all the leaders, and they can then advance with their units. So there's 3 of those. So I might hang on to that one. It might be scout the left flank and maybe fire with the artillery actually at the French cavalry over there. I think that might be the best one to do. If I hold on with the centre stuff for the moment until the French attack again. So yeah, we'll scout the left flank. I don't know which is going to be better, to attack with the infantry or with the artillery. So we'll have a look. 4, 3. There'll be 2 dice. Yeah, let's go with the artillery. And that's a retreat and an infantry. So they don't lose anything, but they have to fall back. So they just fall back to here. It's kind of pushed them away at least. That's not too bad. And the French, give them cold steel again, cavalry charge again, Elan, probe centre, attack the centre, and then counter attack, which would be scout the left flank. So that would actually give them a good way of attacking with these. But I'm going to hold on to that card and use it when the British use a bigger card. Scout the left flank is a bit small, really. Oh, I should have taken 2 cards for the British. I forgot about that. So this is for using the scout card. I allow them to look at the cards that they're going to choose, and you get rid of one. So they're going to keep La Grande Manoeuvre. They did have scout the right flank. So right. So it's either. Well, give them cold steel isn't going to really work because there's only 1 unit that's adjacent to an enemy, so I don't want to use that just yet. There is also the cavalry charge, which would be 4 or fewer cavalry units. So we could bring the cavalry up and maybe pile into some of these this British line perhaps. Elan. I'm going to go with the Elan because I don't want to keep attacking this centre because it just seems to be crumbling at the moment. So I'm going to go with the Elan, and we roll battle dice equal to the number of cards we have, which is 6. And for every symbol that we have, we get to choose a unit of that type. If it's a flag, we get to choose any. But if it's sabres, it's nothing. So let's see what we've got. Right, well, we've got 1 sabre, so that's nothing. We've got 2 infantry, and then 3 flags. So that's quite good. That was worth doing. So I'll put these here so I can remember which ones I've used. Right, well, first one is going to activate is going to be those, and they're going to attack. We'll do it in a second. Next infantry unit will be maybe the line infantry over here, and they're going to move forward into the woods. They can't fire because they've moved into woods, so they've stopped. Now we've got 3 left as well. So I think I'm going to fire with the artillery down onto those. I'm also actually going to move that horse artillery forward as well. They're going to fire before they go in. And actually they can use combined arms fire, so I'll talk about that in a second. And then we've got 1 more that we can activate. And let's get the young guard forward as well. So that's them there. Okay, so we're going to start with the foot artillery here. So 4, 3, 2 dice against the Dutch. So that's a kill and a flag. They're only supported by 1 unit, so they are going to have to retreat up the crest, up to the crest of the hill there. So they've fallen back a bit, so that was the first one. These 2 had moved and done their thing because they can't do anything else. Then we've got the attack over here. So because I'm attacking with combined arms now, you basically roll all the dice together. You can do this with artillery that have been activated, along with any infantry, any re-infantry or cavalry unit that is going into melee. So that's what they're doing here. So we've got the light infantry first of all. So they're rolling 4 dice. But because they're attacking into buildings, they're getting a -2 on that. And then we've got the artillery. This is the foot artillery, but it's moved. It doesn't take anything off it, but it goes 3, 2. So that's 2 dice. But then firing it into buildings removes 1 dice. So we're rolling 3 dice in total. When I've got the cat off the curtains. And 3 in total is, oh, that's pretty good. That's 3 kills in total, so a sabre and 2 infantry. So 3 of them. The first attack on Hougoumont has been relatively successful. The infantry in Hougoumont will fight back against the French. They just killed 1, so they're taking quite a hit there. That's good going at the moment for the French. That was a good card to use, I think. So back to the Allies. Let's have a look. We've got a flank attack, leadership, attack the right flank, attack the centre, assault the centre, and the grand manoeuvre, which is issue an order to 4 or fewer units or leaders, and they can make a strategic move up to 4 hexes. Infantry units in square cannot be ordered, and ordered units cannot battle. So what we can do is bring forward a lot of units using this. I think that might be a good useful one to get. I'm just going to grab that dice off the cat. I landed on the floor. She's rolling it about. Okay. Cats are taking a bigger role in this than I was expecting. I think it might be the grand manoeuvres. Maybe bring forward some of these cavalry to deal with the French guns, perhaps. Yes, let's do that. They can move up to 4 hexes, so that's going to get them quite far across the battlefield, I think. And we can probably use them to charge in as well later on. So let's just get the heavy guard up. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we've got the 1, 2, 3, 4. And maybe they might attack into the woods against those French there. So that's 2 used up. Bring up these heavy as well. 1, 2, 3, 4. Start filtering up. And we can also move infantry as well as part of this. But I'm not going to. I'm going to bring up a lot of cavalry. 1, 2, 3, 4. Just to start threatening those French guns. See if we can clear out that French line up on that ridge. And that's the idea. Okay. So we've got the British light cavalry attacking the French in the woods. Now attacking into woods for cavalry is not very good. It's a -2 on their dice. They are light cav. They're just rolling 3 dice. It's only so it takes them down to one really. I don't know if it's worthwhile doing it because again the French are going to get a chance to fight back. So no, they're not going to. They're just going to sit there next to them and threaten them rather than actually attack. They want to go in with the infantry if they can. Okay, back to the French. So they've got gold steel. They've got cavalry charge. Probe the centre. Attack the centre. Counter attack. And attack the left flank. So I think they might actually do their cavalry attack. You know, will they be able to reach 4 or fewer cavalry? I think, yeah. Well, let's go with a cavalry attack, and we can push the French cavalry in against the British cavalry as they're coming in. So it's 4 or fewer cavalry or horse artillery units. They can battle with an additional dice apart from the guard. They get 2 dice. Ordered heavy cavalry units may move 3 hexes and still battle. Horse artillery units may move and battle normally. So they could actually use their horse artillery as well. But we're going to go with the first one here. 1, 2, 3. They're going to hit the lights, British lights. The cuirassiers are a bit stuck there, unfortunately for them, but we've got the lights here, so they're going to come round and also pile in. So that's the second one. Second of 4. We've got the heavy cuirassiers as well, but like I say, if I move them forward into the woods, they've got to stop. So I'm not sure whether it's better just to bring those round. We've also got the guard heavy, so we can bring these up as well. 1, 2, 3. So we can get them on the other side of the ridge, then maybe start attacking into the flanks of the British there. And let's just get these up and round. 1, 2, 3. So there you go. That's all the cavalry that's moved. So the first one is attacking the British light. Second one's attacking that British light as well. French light versus British light is just normal 4 dice. No difference. So the first attack is 1 hit and 1 sabre. So that's 2 kills on the British light. The British light do get to attack back because they've still got 1 left. So they're going to. Let's do 1 dice. Cannon, that's nothing. So no further effects. And then we've got French light over here attacking the French light. So that's a sword and a cavalry. So that's again 2 more kills over there for the British light. So the cause casualties at least. They get to fight back, just fighting back with that 1. And it's a soldier, so that's nothing. So at least they push forward their cavalry into a position they can attack those British cavalry as well. He's kind of following the battle a little bit, isn't it, I suppose, with the French attacks. Anyway, back to there. So back to the Allies. We are on flank attack, attack the centre, assault the centre, leadership, attack the right flank, and scout the right flank. Looking at this, I'm not sure what's for the best at this point. Maybe assault the centre, get some more of these cavalry in to attack the French cavalry. That might be useful, I think, because they've got those two units there, and then they could do some firing with their artillery as well. Yeah, let's attack the centre. Let's go crazy. Sorry, assault centre. No, actually, yeah, let's go attack centre, because that gives us 3 units. That's going to be enough, I think. So the first one will be the light cavalry, and they're going to go 1, 2, 3. They're going to get out of there, get out of dodge. So we've got the... Oh no, they can't because they're not in the centre section. My apologies. So these will go 1, 2, the guard heavy, and they will pile into the light cavalry. And then we've also got the heavy here, 1, 2. How far do they move? They only move 2 moves, unfortunately, so they can only get to there. So I'm going to only put the guard here instead, and then they're going to attack the light cavalry. So the guard heavy, they roll an additional dice in melee, and they can ignore 2 flags as well. So they have 4 dice against those French lights. So that's 1 sabre, 1 horse, and 2 flags. So they have to retreat 2. 1, they can't get any further back, so they're going to be taken out. Another one's going to be lost. They don't get to battle back because they've retreated. But the heavy guard can follow up and do a breakthrough attack, so they're going to pile into them again. So same again. 4 dice. And that's a retreat, 2 cannons and a soldier. They can't retreat, so they're killed. So that's another flag for the British. So they're now on 3, and they do get to follow because they're impetuous, so they have to. So that's a breakthrough attack, but their attack stops there. So that was it. So that's what we'd moved them and them. And then, yes, I was firing with the foot artillery, wasn't I? So it's 4, 3, 2 against the French Guard heavy cavalry. 2 cannons is nothing. So that's it. That was a British turn. So back to our French. We have Cold Steel, probe the centre, attack the centre, counter-attack, attack the left flank, and bayonet charge. Bayonet charges issue an order to 4 or fewer infantry units. Units may move 2 hexes and still battle in melee. Ooh, that might be interesting. Are we in a position that we can... they also get the guard infantry get a +1 as well. So we've got young guard, so we could possibly clear out Papillots and maybe go for the cavalry here. Have we got any others that we could move into combat? We've got these, so we've got 1, potentially 2, 3. 1 more would do it. We could at least move something forward. So yeah, we're going to go with the bayonet charge, I think, because it's useful. So we're young guard are going to go 1, 2, and then attack into Papillots. The line infantry are going to attack the light cavalry over here. Then we need to move somebody else too, don't we? So could we cut off the guard heavy cavalry? That might be interesting. Or even go for the light infantry. Oh, it's a bit of a tough one, this. I'm going to bring forward the old guard. Why not? They're just sitting there doing that. No, they have to stop in the woods, so I'm not going to bring forward the old guard. I'm going to bring forward this line infantry with Ney. Get back out on the front line, you cowards. Alright, so we've got the attack into Hougoumont, we've got an attack into Papillotte, and then we're also attacking the cavalry. Now, when you attack cavalry with infantry, they can retire and reform, and that means they, as long as they've got 2 clear hexes behind them, they can basically just bugger off. So that's what they're going to do. 1, 2. So the attack comes to nothing there, but at least it's driven off the cavalry. You only get that when you're attacking with infantry against cavalry. Anyway, we've got the Young Guard. They're attacking. They got that +1. So let's just work this out. They're starting with 4 anyway. The Young Guard, they get an additional dice in ranged and melee combat, so that's 5. They get that extra dice because they're guards as part of the bayonet charge. And however, because they're attacking into buildings, they are reduced by 2. So they're rolling 4 dice. So they've got a good chance of actually clearing it out at this point. Let's have a look. And yes, that's 3 kills. So yeah, they've destroyed the light infantry in there. So they've got their first victory flag. They also will move into Papillotte. So at the start of next turn, because they're in there, they will get another victory flag for that. So that's been pretty good for them. Then over here we've got the light infantry attacking the light infantry there. So they are only rolling 1 dice because they're attacking into a building. And I don't think they get a +1, the light infantry. No, only in ranged combat. But that's killed one of the British defenders. So they're doing alright. They get to fire back. But it's a -1 because they're attacking into woods. So they don't roll any dice, in fact. So that was pretty good for the French. Okay. So that's the end of the French turn. So currently it's 3 victory points to 1 victory point for the French, which will go up to 2 next turn. But we're back to the British. Flank attack, 2 on either side. Assault the centre. Leadership. Attack the right flank. Scout the right flank. And attack the centre. Oh god, again a bit of a mix of things really. Do they want to do something with that cavalry, perhaps, on the right flank, and maybe even brings forward some more troops to help Hougoumont out, because we don't want to lose that if we can help it. But then do they want to do the same in the centre as well? Tough choice. It's a tough choice. I'll tell you what, let's go with the centre. Attack the centre, because I can see the guard cavalry are itching to get at those French guns. So that's what they're going to do. So it's 3 in the centre, so that's 1. They're going to pull out. We're going to move the light rifles in, so that's 3. And then they will fire at the guard cavalry, and the heavy cavalry will attack the foot artillery. So I'm going to start with the rifles. They're rolling 3 dice. I keep forgetting I think they should half their dice when they're firing. They get an additional dice in ranged fire because they've moved. They're firing. They half their dice. I keep forgetting to do that. But anyway, we're shooting at the guard cav. So that's cocked. So I'll roll again. So it's a sabre and a horsey. So they've killed 1. And causing damage at least, slowly but surely. And then we've also got the heavy cavalry attacking the foot artillery. So the heavy cavalry are starting with 3 dice. They get an extra 1 for the melee, but they're attacking uphill, so they're -1. So it's 3 dice in total, and that's 3 retreats. So 1, 2. They can't go any further back, so they lose 1. The heavy cavalry will follow up, and it means that they get to attack again. So they are now going to attack into the French line infantry. The French line infantry are going to go into square. And the way in Command and Colours that you go into square is you take a random card from your hand, and it goes underneath on one of these square cards at the back. You can see here. This didn't happen before. So we take a random card out, put it there, then we put the square token here to show that these are in square, and then they attack the cavalry first, but if they get a flag they just bounce them, but because they're in square they only roll 1 dice. However, if the cavalry aren't bounced or destroyed, they only roll 1 dice back against the square, so squares are pretty hard to break. It can be done. So that's infantry, so that causes nothing, so the cavalry do get to fight back. And they've killed 1 with their sabre, so that's taken the square down to 1. But yeah, you slowly pick away at squares. They are hard things to break, as you would expect. But what happens is it means that you have fewer command cards in total. The more squares you have, the less you can do overall. It's quite a nice little a little mechanic in the Napoleonic version of this game. I don't know if it's echoed in any of the other versions. But that's the French. Sorry, no, that was the British. What am I thinking? It's because of that square attack. So back to the French. So they should have now 5 cards in hand. Yes, they do. So we've got probe centre, attack the centre, attack the left flank, give them cold steel, and assault the right flank. Dear me. Assault the right flank might be quite useful. They can at least push forward. Oh yeah, they also get their 2nd flag for capturing Papalot, so they're at least up. Right, I'll tell you what, we're going to go with attack the left flank. I think that's the best to do at the moment. So this is 3 units on the left flank. So we're going to have the horse artillery fire. We're going to have these go into a combined arms attack there, and then I'm going to hit the British heavy cavalry, guard cavalry, with the heavy cuirassiers. So we'll start with the combined arms fire. So we're starting with, we'll just work this out, 3 dice for the light infantry first of all. They don't get any bonuses, but then we've got the horse artillery. They're firing on a 2 and a 1, so we put that in as well, but they're both attacking into the building, so it's -2, so it's 2 dice. And that's 1 kill and a retreat, so they are killed, so that's another flag for the French. Ooh, that's starting to get them. And also they can move in and take Hougoumont. So Hougoumont has fallen, unfortunately. So I'm sure again there'll be plenty of people watching this that are happy about that. So that's the French who actually taken it, and now we've got the cuirassiers are attacking the heavy guard cavalry, and cuirassiers I believe get a +1 in their melee combat, so that's 5 dice. Let's see what happens with that. So, ooh, no, not a single kill, but 1 retreat. But the guard cavalry are able to ignore a dice, I think. Let me just see, it is the guard heavy cavalry, so they can ignore 2 flags, yes, so they ignore that 1 flag there. So they fight back with 4 dice because they get that +1 against the cuirassiers, and they have killed 2 and caused 2 flags, so 2 cuirassiers are dead. And the flags, again, I think the cuirassiers can ignore those flags. They can ignore 1 flag, so they have to retreat 1, so they'll fall back to there, which means the guard cavalry, no, they didn't attack, so they were just defending, so they don't get to follow up. So that's the end of the French turn. Swings and roundabouts on that one, I think. Right, back to the British. So we've got assault centre, flank attack, scout the right flank, attack the right flank, leadership, and then forward, which is 2 units in every section. Things might be getting a little bit desperate for them at the moment. It's 3 against 3, and they'll go up to 4 against 3 in the French turn. So I think we're going to go with the forward and start moving stuff into the attack. This is all I can do at the moment. So the first unit is going to be these fellas. They're going to go and then attack into Hougoumont with the foot artillery firing. That's the first section over there. No, I'll tell you what, the guard cavalry are going to chase down the cuirassiers. So that's the 2 units there. Then over here in the centre, I'm going to hit that foot artillery again with the heavy cavalry. It's impetuous, but let's do it. Try to destroy as many of the French units as possible. And then we've got I'm going to fire with the lights in the rifles at the guard as well. And then we've got 2 more over here. We can fire with the foot artillery at the light cavalry, and then I'll also bring forward the Dutch line as well and bring them up onto the ridge. I think that's the best thing to do at this point. So let's start with the attack into Hougoumont. They're only rolling 2 dice because it's -2 for attacking into buildings. And that caused at least 2 casualties, and yes, they have caused 2 casualties. So that's them. They get to battle back though with 1 dice, and that's caused 1 casualty on the Dutch line. And the next thing was the guard heavy attacking the cuirassiers. So they're rolling on 4 dice, and that's 1 kill and nothing else. So the cuirassiers do get to attack back with 2 dice, and that's nothing, no effect. Then we've got the heavy cavalry against the foot artillery. So we're going to try to get them off the field or destroyed. While I get rid of the cats again. And what's up with it tonight? So we've caused 1 kill and a sabre, so that's both of them, so they don't need to check for anything else. So that's another destroyed unit, so that's the British with another flag. And then they get to move up and they can attack again, so they may as well attack the old guard, but the old guard are going to go into square. So again, we take another card here, stick them in square, and then they get their first attack against the cavalry. A sabre is 1 kill on the cavalry, and then the cavalry will roll their attack dice. It's a horse, is nothing. So they lost 1 against the square, but they have destroyed the guns. Then we've got the rifles. They're firing, so they're firing 3, 4 because they've got 1 extra dice for firing. I don't know why my cat's going mad. I'm going to throw her out. Apologies for the temporary break in proceedings there. So this is what I rolled, wasn't it? So we've got 1 cavalry kill and nothing else, so they just lost 1. And then we had our 2 units on the other side, so we brought forward the line infantry. They could fire, but they'd be firing at half, so I don't think they're going to bother. No, let's do it. They're starting with 4 -2 for firing, and they're going to fire at the cavalry, and that's nothing. But then we've also got the foot artillery, so that's 3, and another 2 firing at them as well. So that's a horse and a soldier. That's nothing as well. So that ends the Allies' turn. Right, now the French, they're still in possession of Hougoumont, so they get another flag for that at least. And let's see what they've got for their cards. We have fire and hold, assault the right flank, probe the centre, and give them cold steel. Right, well, they really need to get some units out towards Hougoumont to hold it, I think, at this point. They're getting a bit battered. Those British cavalry attacks have been pretty nasty. I'll tell you what, I think let's go with assault the right flank. Let's do some damage over there if we can. So we've got the light cavalry. They're going to charge into the light cavalry there. We're going to get the young guard to fire at the line infantry on the hill, and then we've also got, we can actually order pretty much everything here. So we've got the foot artillery, but I'm going to bring forward the guard artillery as well. They're just going to move forward. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and they've only got 4 cards, so that's all they have. So that's all they're doing with. So we've got the light cavalry attacking the British light cavalry up the hill. So it's just 3 dice. And that's 1 kill, so that's enough. That's taken out the British light cavalry, so that's another victory marker for the French. They also then get to follow up with that. So they're obviously going to, and then they're going to attack the foot artillery as well. So this time it's 4 dice because they're attacking on the ridge rather than uphill. And that is 1 kill on that artillery unit. And let's see if the artillery do anything back. They're rolling 4 dice. And that is quite a lot of kills. That's 3 kills and a retreat. So they're not supported, so they've piled in, but they've got absolutely battered as well. So they're going to fall back to there, so at least the young guard can still do their firing. Oh, that was, I don't know if that was good or bad really. But now we've got the young guard, they are firing, they get an extra dice for firing, so that's 5, but -1 because they're firing uphill. So that's no kills. That was a cannon, horse and 2 sabres. So yeah, no kills there. So that was the French assault on the right flank. Right, back to the Allies. So we're currently, the French are on 5 flags, the Allies are on 4. It's the first one to 8, so I mentioned at the start, just to see, but the casualties are mounting, as you can see on the side there. They're getting quite a lot. So we've got the Allies assault the centre, flank attack, scout the right flank, attack the right flank, leadership, and attack centre. It might be a case of doing another attack on that right flank, I think. Yeah, I think that's what we're going to do. Try to get Hougoumont back, and also try to destroy those heavy cuirassiers as well. That's the best thing to do here. So we're going to use these and the foot artillery to attack into Hougoumont again, and then we're also using the guard heavy to attack the cuirassiers. So I'm going to start with the guard heavy first of all. So that's 3 kills and a flag, so that's destroyed the French cuirassiers. So that's another flag for the British. They also then get to move up 1, so they're going to move here and attack the horse artillery. See if they can get in there and smash them up as well. Let's see. 3 cannons, so that's them destroyed as well. Wow. So that's a cavalry breakthrough, so they get to pile forward again. So they're going to move into that empty unit there. So that's another flag. This could be all be over before it's even started. So we are now on what, 6 for the British. So now we're attacking into Hougoumont itself. So we've got the 3 line infantry, and we've also got 4, 3. Sorry, I was checking the wrong units, I think, last time. So yeah, it should have been 4, 3 for the artillery. But with them attacking into the buildings, it's 4 in total. Let's just see. We've got 1 kill and 1 retreat, so that's killed them, so that's another flag. So that means the French have lost a flag as well, because they've now lost Hougoumont. And the Dutch move into Hougoumont itself. So we are now on 2, 4, 6, 7 for the British at this point. The next flag that they win, they will win the game. The French are on 4, so they need to quickly destroy 4 British units if they can. Well, let's see what they do in their turn. They're a bit stuck now, they're all in square. Right, so let's see what the French do in their turn. Just check I've got the right number of cards. Yep, all there. So the French have got their 4 cards because we've got the 2 squares. So we've got fire and hold, probe centre, give them cold steel, and attack the right flank. Is it going to be a case of attacking the right flank again? I don't know. Is it going to do much damage? That's the problem, isn't it? They're a bit battered. Maybe they might go for the centre. And there's everything they've got is a bit hammered at this point. That's the problem. Unless they brought the Guard cavalry back to attack the British heavy cavalry, that might be something that's doable. I think we'll do that. Let's go with the probe centre. We can at least try and get the Guard cavalry out. So the 2 that we're going to the unit here is going to go out of square and then move. So the way you go out of square is you just basically activate and you take them out of square. So you take that off and then put the card back into your hand. Then the second move is going to be Guard, heavy Guard. So they're going to come in there, the Guard cavalry, and attack the British heavy cavalry. So they're attacking with 3 dice. And what have we got? 1 retreat, but no kills. So they fall back to there. Now they are still adjacent, so they can actually attack back. No, they can't because they retreated. Because they retreated, it stops them from battling back at all. So they've fallen back to there. And that's ended their turn. So the French get their card back. So back to the British. 2, 4, 6, 7 we said. With the British now have got to destroy 1 French unit and it's game over. So we've got assault centre, flank attack, scout the right flank, leadership, attack the centre, and probe right flank. Well, where are the weaknesses? I guess the weaknesses are really in the centre, aren't they? But we've also got, there's just 1 light cavalry here, or Guard cavalry here. Is it worthwhile going for an attack on the left flank? They haven't got a left flank card, but they do have flank attack, which means they could move 2 on the centre. Yeah, I think let's go for flank attack. It'll give them a chance to shift some units. I think that's probably the best thing. So we get 2 units on each flank. So I'm going to withdraw these 1, 2, 3 to get them out of line of sight and into safety. A tough one. Let's just bring forward the Grenadier Guards, I think. I don't want to attack with the cavalry over here because they'll just go into square and then it'll be a useless fight. There's not much point doing it. And then over here on this side we're going to attack with the foot artillery. That's the most obvious thing to do, and then I think we're also going to fire with the line infantry as well. So I'm going to start with the line infantry firing at the French cavalry. If I can destroy that unit, we can end this game. Let's see then. So they're firing first of all. Aha, there it is. A horsey. So that's a kill. That's the French light cavalry destroyed. And game over. The British, the Allies, have got their 8 flags. So they've managed to hold off, and the Prussians start arriving, and they start to push in here, push out the old guard, the young guard from Papillotte, and that's it. Game over. Well, thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed that. Didn't get as many viewers as last time, but I'm guessing that's because it's a Friday night and probably people are in the pub. But if you've enjoyed it, leave me a message. Say you have done. Give it a thumbs up as usual. If you haven't subscribed, do hit that subscribe button. And I will be playing some more live games at some point in the future. I can't promise what they're going to be because I'm a bit limited at the moment with the laptop I've got, but I have got a plan to buy a better laptop to be able to run this camera and the live streaming up in the loft, where I have a better setup than I do down here. So anyway, as I say, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Please do check out the other Command and Colours games. I might come back to this at some point. I might even play the First World War version of it as well at some point, using the actual solo rules that somebody came up with. I think that might be a good idea. So, cheers. I'm going to end the stream there and see you next time.